Hello everyone, Corn here. Welcome to my channel. And if you're here, especially at this video, I want to thank you because, to be real honest, this is all about us crafters. You know, we get to tell you our story if we answer these 10 questions. And Gina loves to craft. When she did this, on her video, I commented and said how much fun it was to watch her videos. She's such a sweet, darling, creative person. And I was letting her know that it was such a joy to watch. And she tags everybody. And I've done that before too. I have said I tag everyone who watches this because I have also tagged, 2, 3, 4 people in the past, and I felt guilty for not tagging more people. So, because I have no desire to hurt anyone's feelings. It's not my thing. So here goes. The first question is my name. Well, I say it in the beginning of every one of my videos. I'm Corn. Now, y'all going to say, now your mama and daddy did not name you Corn. They did not name me that, but I have several names that they did name me that are on my birth certificate, and one of them has the word corn in it. Therefore, that's why I'm Corn. Number 2, how did I come up with my channel name? Well, hopefully I won't get emotional because I want to talk about my mama and my sister, and they're no longer hanging out on Earth. So hopefully I'll get through this. I also will bring up my grandmother later, who hasn't been hanging on this earth for 30 years, and I've already cried just thinking about it. So I hope I won't get emotional. But with the Cornflower Crafts, as you know, here on YouTube, I do paper crafting, but I've been crafting for a long time in other ways, and also dealing with fine arts also. And Cornflower is, it's not the Latin name for this particular flower. Cornflower, it was given that name, and it was also given a nickname called Bachelor's Button. And it is such a sweet flower. It is a blue flower, which you all know that's not my favorite color, but it's very sweet and very pretty. And that is the flower I chose because it has my nickname in it, and the nickname of the flower. And also, I wanted it to be after a flower because my mother was a floral designer and co-owned a shop, and my sister owned her own shop. So both of them were floral designers. So I remember going to the shops, and as a young child even, and the smell of going in the back rooms where the flowers are and into those huge refrigerators and stuff. Excuse me, it was such a treat. The smell, they were so beautiful, and some of them were so delicate and so sweet that for me to put my name with Cornflower, and also after there is a cornflower, was my tip of the hat to my mother and my sister. And I wanted it to be honest for myself, I wanted to have corn in it. So that's why. Number 3, your favorite craft. I enjoy all kinds of crafting, to be honest. Paper crafting is what I've been doing the past 2 years. But before that, I used to sell my crafts and fine art. And I love needlework a lot. I love doing counted cross stitch and embroidery and crewel work, and that was my thing for quite a few years. And I also just really loved making gifts, and most of your friends and neighbors will enjoy them, but some of them will be like, "No, I wanted store-bought," but that I did that for years. And I also used to do portrait work, not only of adults, but also children, babies, and pets. And yes, I had to work from photos because a pet will not stay still for you for any amount of time. So I can honestly say I really enjoyed doing the portrait work the most. But I've had favorites through the years too. Number 4, your favorite place to shop for craft supplies. Well, anybody who's been with me for a while knows I'm a Hobby Lobby girl. And I love them most when they give me 75% off, because then I can share with you all some of those. And also they do 50% off quite a bit with certain brands, and like with the Paper Studio quite often, and I can walk in there anytime, any day, except for Sunday, and get 40% off of something with a coupon. So that's my store. Let's see. My top 5 crafty YouTube channels. I've already said it. I'm not going to name anyone. I have no desire whatsoever to hurt anyone's feelings. I really appreciate and support many channels here. I can't always watch the way I used to and comment the way I used to, but I still subscribe and I still try to support many channels here on YouTube. So nope, I'm not naming top 5 because it's a whole lot more than 5. My favorite colors, I think, again, y'all already know this if you've been here with me a while. I love pink. I love bunny rabbits too. And I love lavender. I'm a lover of color, but those two just, whenever I see them, I just get a little weak in the knees. Just love them. They give me joy. My favorite crafting tools, I have I should have brought them down. I apologize. Should have brought them downstairs. I have a set of tweezers from EK Tools that if I did not have them, I would be so frustrated in paper crafting. I don't, I have to have them. The paint is coming off of them. I use them so often. I use them anytime I paper craft, that I keep telling myself, you better get another pair, because what if they stop making these? Because other tweezers are okay, but it's this one that stays closed. You know what I mean? When you set them down, oh baby, they're my all-time favorite. Second thing is I have some Martha Stewart scissors that are this big, and they, for all my fussy cutting, I don't think you can beat them. And I'm really dreading the day that they go, that they aren't sharp anymore, and they go dull. I'm really, really dreading that day. Let's see, number 8. Where do I get my love for crafting? Oh, y'all. I come from a family that they're all artists and crafters, and you name it. My whole family I was born into are either woodworkers, musicians, which I think is a wonderful craft too. Where they could make their own instruments too. You know what I'm saying? I also have, like I said, floral designers. I come from people that say, oh, we don't have enough money for wedding decorations, let's all do it ourselves. That not only includes my family I was born into, but also aunts and uncles. I'm talking grandparents. It's just boom, boom, boom. And then you all know, Handsome and I are Toby has a degree in art, so it just it's the whole crew. When did I start crafting? Well, y'all, I've been crafting since I was little because, again, when you're in a household where everybody's doing something creative, you want to join in and be part of the family. So ever since I was real little, but the one time I can remember getting involved in needle crafting has to do with my maternal grandmother, my mom's mom, and you know what I'm saying when I say she was a lady. I'm not going to say she was a girl, a dame, a gal, or whatever. She was a lady, and I absolutely love her more than I can say. And I went to her house for 2 weeks, and she saw that I was getting fidgety because I was, 14 at the time, and I mean like just 14, maybe late 13 or 14. And I had all this energy. It wasn't going anywhere, so she saw me twisting my hair. She saw me, she saw me with my legs, I had all this energy. So she said to me, she said, would you like to do some embroidery work? And I was like, I don't know. And I was like, I don't know. I've never done it. And she said, well, are you interested? I was like, well, maybe. I don't know. And so she said, let's go to a craft store and find you a kit, meaning it has, your whatever you're working on, be it linen or burlap. Seriously, you can work on burlap too, or any fabric. It has that. It has your needle. It has your floss. This was crewel work, which means that you're working with woolen threads. So she said, let's get you a kit because that has everything you need but the frame. So I was like, okay. So she takes me and we get this log. I can still see it, y'all. And this is 50 years ago. Seriously. I'm not talking, I can't even show you. It's huge. It's huge. I mean, boom. It's like, I can't even think of the dimensions, but it's big. And it's a log that, and we're talking 1970s here, so we're going to be dealing with oranges and browns and all shades of brown with little touches of oranges here and there and yellow and, okay. So here we go. It's there. And then it has a cascade of white daisies over the log with all its green, florals of the leaves and everything going on. Okay. So I look at this huge thing and I think, oh my stars, I'm never going to finish this in 2 weeks. But here's what happens. I was like, oh, wait a minute, this is fun because all the stitches were new to me. And of course, in the instructions that they give you examples, put your needle in A, down in B, up in C, down in, you know what I mean? So that you're dealing with chain stitch, buttonhole stitch, outline stitch, all these stitches. So I was like, oh, all right, well, this is a fun stitch and this is an interesting stitch. And oh my goodness. Or of course, then I had my beloved grandmother say, okay, now this is also a stitch you can use to make a buttonhole if you want to do it by hand on one of your tops. And I've been sewing for a long time too, and I was like, whoa, by hand? So it was really fascinating to me. So she would just throw in those little tidbits. And if she saw me having trouble with a stitch where I was like, all right, I went up A, down B, but sometimes you have to hold your thread this way before you know what I mean? You have to hold it and then come back like a lazy daisy stitch. You have to do that with. And I was having some difficulty, and my grandmother would come over, and she would say, you're close. I mean, she never, ever cut me down, ever. She would say, you're close. But you might want to just take your thumb, and when you've created that loop, just hold it before you place that up again, so you won't, so you're not having difficulty putting your needle back down, things like that. So it ended up being such a wonderful experience to have that time with my grandmother that was just hers and mine. I finished it. I finished that huge thing before I left, and God love her, she framed it and hung it up, so bless her heart. She had it framed, bless her heart, which you all know is expensive. So that was all of that to say how much I love my grandmother and to say that I do remember my first. And then, let's see, my favorite craft, it's this specific project that I have made. Well, as far as, I think we're going to have to go with paper crafting. I'm going to go with that one because you all, that's the way you all know me here on YouTube. And my favorite thing that I did was for someone else. I don't keep any of my paper crafting, as you all know, not yet. Eventually I wouldn't mind doing something for myself, but I don't. Is for Dolly, who is Crafty Mermaid Mom here on YouTube, and she and I have very different tastes when it comes to favorite color, but when it comes to teacups and sewing and vintage, we're very similar. And so what I did for Dolly was I made a journal for her, an old-fashioned type actually, with Prima paper with that gorgeous pink. And I actually did a counted cross stitch for her. It's this big, but I actually put that in there. And dealing with teas and mostly sewing, actually was really dealing with sewing. And that one is my favorite that I've ever done. I was happy the way that turned out. So bless your hearts for staying with me this long, if you're still here, and, and for being interested in, why I'm here and doing paper crafts and sharing hauls and good stuff like that. And I'd like to thank you all for joining me, and I hope you have a wonderful morning, afternoon, or evening. Bye-bye, everybody.